this is like a really positive thing and something to look forward to, I think. Already miss those days of contact naps all the time. Time is a thief when you are a parent of a baby. It truly does take a village to raise a baby. Good morning, you guys. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm just sitting on the floor while Charlie plays. I have my little morning cup of coffee that I'm sipping on, and today I wanted to share 15 things that I wish I knew before having a baby, before becoming a stay-at-home mom. Some of these things are really awesome, really positive things that I hope that any expecting moms are looking forward to and excited about. Some of them are, you know, not so great things that I just wish that I knew or understood a little bit better. And a few of these things are just some practical mom tips, mom hacks, that type of thing that would have made my life easier if I knew a little bit sooner. So I'm going to take you through my day as I share these things. We're going to hang out together, talk about being a mom, and I hope you guys enjoy this video. If you like mom content, mom vlogs, etc., make sure you hit that subscribe button. And by the way, if you are a mom, please let me know down in the comments if there's anything that you either really strongly agree with, or if there's anything that you also feel like you wish you knew as a new mom, because I'm still learning. So the first thing I have to talk about is the amount that you will love and arguably be obsessed with your baby. I know a lot of people talk about like how much they love their kids, but you do not fully understand how much you're going to love and care for your babies until you have them. I think this is something that is really exciting and positive and something to look forward to if you are expecting, if you're wanting or thinking about becoming a mom. I know I was really scared, I'll admit it, like that I wouldn't love my babies that much. You know, I have 2 dogs, and I remember thinking like, how could I love anything more than I love my dogs? You just really can't fathom it and understand it until you go through it. But this is like a really positive thing and something to look forward to, I think. So if you're nervous about having babies and maybe like not having that connection with them or loving them, I just have to say that the amount that you love them is just so unmatched. Like, it's unfathomable until you actually experience it. And I will say, if there's any dads out there watching this, you know, it is totally normal for the connection to not happen right away. It's more normal for moms to feel this like inexplainable love for their babies immediately or within at least the first couple of weeks. For dads, it can take months just because they don't have that like chemical bond that we have as women, as mothers. So if you're a dad out there and you just had a baby, don't worry, it will come, the connection will come. But this amount of love is just so great, so deep, so unconditional, and it is something that is really exciting to look forward to whenever you do have a baby. So I need to change these sheets real quick before Charlie goes down for her next nap, and figured perfect time to share my next tip, which is actually a more like mom hack, which is that when your baby has blowouts, I actually learned that you can just use like hot water, some soap, and if you actually go set it outside in the sun, if it's sunny where you live, it will actually like make the stain completely disappear. And I have found that this actually does work. So that's just a cool kind of mom hack for you. Will save you a lot of time and energy on getting stains out. I'm about to get Charlie down for her next nap, and that just brings me to my next sort of tip, which is basically don't ever feel guilty about contact naps. There's no such thing as too many contact naps when they are a little newborn baby. She's about 4.5 months now, and I already miss those days of contact naps all the time. Right now she's primarily napping in her crib, and we really only do a contact nap if like we're going somewhere and she's in the carrier and needs to like nap while she's in the carrier. So I already miss those days of contact naps, so just never ever feel guilty about them. Soak them in. They are precious moments that you'll never get back. So that actually leads me to my next piece of advice, but she's pretty tired, so I'm gonna get her down first before I start talking about the next one. Just got her down. I think she must be going through like a growth spurt or something, because these last few days she has been refusing, or not refusing, but like really fussy going down for a nap, and normally she goes down pretty easily. So I'm not sure what's going on, but I'm thinking maybe a growth spurt, not sure. And also, if you couldn't tell when I was putting her down, I really need to get some blackout curtains for her nursery. That's definitely going to be one of the next things that I think I invest in for her. But what I was saying before I put her down is that there's no such thing as too many contact naps, and I already miss it, and that leads me to my next thing that I wish I knew or fully understood better, which is that it truly goes by so fast. I feel like I have like a 2-month-old baby, not a almost 5-month-old baby. Time is a thief when you are a parent of a baby. So with that, just like try your best to soak in every single thing and try not to take anything for granted. This is honestly something that has like actually brought me anxiety, because I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to be so in the moment, so focused on every little thing that's happening. And if I'm like working on YouTube stuff when like she's laying next to me on the playmat, I feel like I get like that mom guilt, because I'm like, oh, I should be paying 100% attention to her on the mat, but at the same time, like, this is my job, this is my source of income, so I have to kind of find that balance. But anyways, all that to say, just soak it all in. Don't take anything for granted. It goes by so fast. Just remember that when you have your little baby and are going through the hard times. I have to remind myself that all the time when we're having like a rough night, I'm up in the middle of the night with her and that type of thing, that I know I'm gonna miss these days one day. So just trying to, you know, like enjoy it and make the most of it while I have this little tiny baby that loves me so much. But you guys, nap time means cleaning time. So let's take a few minutes to work on some tidying up around the house, get some cleaning done. A 20-minute speed clean. Not that it's perfectly pristine in here or anything, but at least things are tidied up, you know, got the washer going, tidied up the living room and the kitchen a little bit. So, you know, we got to work with the time that we do have when it comes to keeping this place clean. But I wanted to share my next thing that I wish I knew, which is that take your pediatrician's advice with a grain of salt. I actually love our pediatrician. I think she's awesome. I feel like I can ask her any question that I want and she's not going to judge me or anything like that. But at the end of the day, you obviously know your baby the best. The pediatrician is really there to give guidance, give advice from their, you know, training and experience. But I think always, you know, trust your mom gut and don't be afraid to kind of make decisions based on what you think is best for your baby. Charlie's gonna wake up from her nap any second, so I figured I would share a few more while I wait for her to wake up. So the next thing is that I wish that I had like familiarized myself a little bit more with the symptoms and signs of postpartum anxiety, postpartum depression, baby blues, etc. It is so common to experience those symptoms, and to be honest with you, because I wasn't super familiar with the symptoms of postpartum depression, I kind of thought I was going crazy when I started experiencing those feelings and those things. I actually talked a lot about my 4th trimester in a different video, so I'll link that if you're curious to hear a little bit more. I just wish that I knew not only like how common it was, but the symptoms of it, so that when they did come up, I wasn't like caught off guard, surprised, like felt like something was really wrong with me. It is so common to experience those symptoms in some capacity, so I just like strongly recommend really like understanding that a little bit better. We actually have somebody coming over in about 15 minutes to meet Charlie and just like chat with her as a potential babysitter for us actually. And I bring this up because it leads me to my next thing that I wish I knew, which is that it truly does take a village to raise a baby. I will say in those first few days and weeks postpartum, there's actually not a lot of things that other people can do other than like maybe like cook for you or clean for you, that type of thing. And that does help a lot. But I remember just feeling a little bit like overwhelmed with people in our house. It wasn't until my parents came back and visited actually like a month ago. Charlie was like 3.5 months and I was able to do things like hand her off to them. They could feed her a bottle. They babysat for us one night so that Chris and I could have a date night. They of course still helped out with like meals and cleaning and stuff like that. But I just didn't realize like how nice it was to do things like hand her over to my mom and be like, I'm gonna go spend, you know, 20 minutes showering, or I need to actually just go run to the grocery store for a couple things. And we actually don't have that village essentially here where we live because our family does not live here. It's actually just very hard, I think, like not having those people here. Of course, we do have a lot of really close friends here and I'm so grateful for the friends that we do have, but it's just not the same, I think, as having, you know, family, having your parents nearby to babysit. So I do really wish that I had known or better understood how much having the village would really help, and how actually hard it would be to not have those people like here. That's something we're kind of navigating. And so like I said, we are meeting with somebody today to see if she could potentially be a babysitter for us, somebody for us to call so Chris and I could go on some date nights here and there. Mostly is really all it is, because that would be really, really awesome to be able to have that. All right, going back to the play mat, because this is what Charlie and I do all day long. I'm also really trying to get her to roll over before our pediatrician appointment in like 2 weeks. So we're working hard on it right now. So meeting that babysitter went pretty well. The hardest thing is that Charlie's just like at this age right now where she's starting to kind of be able to recognize people, faces, and that type of thing. She mostly knows me and Chris and a couple of our like close friends here, and then like family. There's just been a few times when Chris's sister-in-law visited and met her for the first time a couple weeks ago, like Charlie was sort of like scared of her, I guess, like a little bit of stranger danger. And so that's just like the hard thing, I think, is getting her like used to new people. And that's going to be, I think, what our challenge is going to be with finding a babysitter. But hopefully as we can, you know, start exposing her to a babysitter, she'll just get more and more used to it. So we'll see. Let me know if you have any, you know, tips for exposing your babies to a babysitter. With that, I wanted to mention a few other things that, you know, I wish I knew prior to having a baby and becoming a stay-at-home mom. The next one is that babies are babies, and I think it's really just important to remember that, you know, they're babies. Like, they're gonna cry, they're gonna fuss, they're not gonna follow a strict schedule, they're gonna have difficulty sleeping from time to time, or maybe all the time, gonna have blowouts. It's just important to, I think, remember, like, give yourself grace, give the baby patience, because they're a baby at the end of the day, and it's easy to like have these like certain expectations. We're flying in like 2 weeks, so I just really have to remind myself during that time that she's a baby and she's probably gonna cry, and that's just normal and just part of it. On that similar vein, thought process is that it's also important to remember that babies are people too, so they have things that they like, they have things that they don't like. For example, she does not like the expensive swing that we got from our registry. Has not used it, cries in it, and you know, that's fine. Like, I think when it comes to your registry and stuff, you never know what your baby's gonna like or not like, and whatever, like, we're gonna hold on to it in case maybe our next child likes the swing. But she really just likes like being on the floor like this, and we do have a bouncer that she likes, and you know, the reality is that just like anybody else, like, she has certain things that she likes and doesn't like, and that's totally normal. It'll be interesting to kind of think about that with food and trying solids for the first time in a couple of months, like just remembering that there's gonna be stuff that she just doesn't like, and that's okay. So Charlie's really into these little rattles right now. You'll probably hear her shaking it in a second. But the next thing is that seeing your baby kind of grow and develop and learn things is truly the most double-edged sword. Moving her up a size in onesies and diapers. The first time I had to do that was so hard. I was like, no, she's growing. Like, I don't want her to get any bigger. But then at the same time, it's like, yay, she's growing. Like, this is so good. You know, starting to see her kind of wheels turn in her brain. And like right now she's really reaching for stuff that I'm holding. I can like try like handing her things and she'll grab onto them. So it's just really rewarding actually to see them like grow and develop and learn things, especially too when it's like learning how to smile, learning how to laugh, and being able to make her laugh is the best feeling in the world. Being able to make her smile is the best feeling in the world. I definitely cried the first time that she smiled at me. So it's really a double-edged sword, because it's like you want them to stay tiny little babies forever and be so cute and perfect, but you know, growing is important and it's a positive thing, it's a good thing. It just like hurts your mom heart, but yeah, it's just the biggest double-edged sword, and it's also like the most rewarding thing, like seeing them grow and develop. Okay, I just got Charlie down for another nap, and when she wakes up, I kind of want to go for a walk outside. This week the weather has been so perfect. It's been like in the 60s, mid-upper 60s, so this is the time of year here where I have to take advantage of being outside because it's not too hot, not too cold. It's just like perfect weather. Until then, I think I'm gonna do a little bit of work, so that's kind of my plan here. But before I switch over to work and then going for a walk, I wanted to mention a couple more things that I wish I knew. So the first one is that everything is temporary when it comes to a baby, for better or worse. You just have to remind yourself of that. I think a lot of times there's gonna be really hard moments. There are really hard moments when they're a newborn, when they're a little tiny baby, when they're going through a 4-month sleep regression, and I'm sure even as like toddlers and teenagers, kids can be hard, but you have to remember that all of these things are temporary and things come and go in waves. So I have found that a lot of times with a baby, things only last like maybe a week or two maximum. A lot of times things shift and change and resolve super fast, like within a couple of days. So you just have to kind of remember that everything is temporary. This also means that, like, again, with like the contact nap, these little phases, these exciting things, these really positive things are temporary too. And that means that you really do have to soak them in. Like I mentioned earlier, just remember that everything is temporary, nothing lasts forever. And when things are really hard, this too shall pass. And on that note, I just wanted to mention sleep, because obviously sleep is a hot topic with a baby. It is hard to get good sleep, and the funny thing is your body adjusts to it like very, very quickly. I was honestly very surprised at how quickly my body adjusted to the lack of sleep, and then also adjusts back to getting good sleep pretty quickly. Right now, like a lot of nights, Charlie's only sleeping like 4 or 5, maybe 6 hour stretches. You know, I'm not getting like long 7-8 hour stretches of sleep at night, but it's not that bad. I think my body is just used to it, and your body just really does get used to disrupted sleep. And again, it's all temporary, so I just try to remind myself in the middle of the night when I'm tired and she is crying and whatnot that this is temporary, this too shall pass. And again, I'm gonna miss these days someday. Like I said, need to get some work done. So up next for my day is gonna be power speed editing. Woke up from her nap and we're just sitting on the grass in the park by our house, and I just wanted to talk about the next thing, which is how important it is to get back into any sort of routine if you can. This is why I try and go on at least like a short little walk, get outside with Charlie every single day, because it has significantly improved my mental health. I feel like just getting into a little bit of a routine, having a little bit of normalcy as much as you can, whether that's being social or working out or going for walks outside. Hi baby, she's smiling at me. Hi baby girl. Anything that you can do that makes things feel a little bit more back to normal is going to significantly help your mental health, your physical health. So yeah, I try to get outside, out of the house at least once a day. I think that especially for stay-at-home moms, you don't realize how important it is to socialize with other humans, have real conversations, and just get a little bit of change of scenery. I have found that it's very, very important for me to at least just get out of the house and go for a walk, if that's like even the only thing that I do. So get into a routine and get outside, enjoy the sunshine if it's sunny where you live, and that will significantly help your mental health, physical health, everything. That walk was so much fun. I love just like doing stuff outside with Charlie. She loves just looking at like leaves and trees, and she loved laying in the grass and like kicking her feet and stuff. And I just love, again, seeing kind of her experience the world for the first time. It's just such a cool, unique thing that you don't get to do unless you become a parent. But anyways, I just wanted to finish off this video. I had 2 more things I wanted to share with you guys as far as, you know, things I wish I knew, tips, advice, etc. So the next one is that I think in pretty much 99% of marriages, relationships, it's gonna take work to continue to have a successful, healthy relationship. During that newborn phase, you really do become roommates. It's really like one of you doing chores, one of you taking care of the baby, then you switch, you're sleeping as much as you can, and it's really easy to fall into that roommate phase. I think that's super normal, super common, but it does take work in order to kind of make sure that like the romance is still alive, that you're prioritizing your relationship. I found that it was even just hard to find time to like have a conversation with Chris, because we're both so exhausted by the end of the day that sitting down and having like a deep, meaningful conversation is not really the first thing that we think of doing, but it is still so important to your relationship. So if you can find people to babysit for you so you can go on date nights, that is going to help a lot. Finding time to communicate communicate. We have talked a lot about maybe going on daily walks together or something like that, because that's a good time to have a conversation and focus on us. Think of ways that you can continue to prioritize your relationship with your partner, because it will probably, I think with most people, take a hit during this phase. And then the last thing that I wanted to share is that it does get easier. I know it's really, really hard. Right after you have a baby, you're so exhausted. It completely changes your life, your lifestyle, how you think about making plans, just everything. It changes every aspect of your life, but it does get better. It does get easier. You do start to get the hang of it when it comes to being a parent, when it comes to learning your baby, learning their cues. I feel like I'm starting to understand a little bit more when she's tired. That way I can avoid her being overtired, or I'm starting to understand more better when she's hungry, so that way I avoid her being like hangry. Things do get easier, and I've heard that once you start sleep training and your baby eventually will go into sleeping like 10 or 12 hour stretches. So apparently the sleep does get better, and I am holding out for that. Just know that it does get better. But that is it, you guys. Those are the 15 things that I wish I knew, advice that I have for new parents out there. Just remember that it is so worth it. If you're nervous about having a baby, you're not sure if it's something that you want to do, maybe you've considered it, but you're just not sure if you want to like really fully go down that path, I have to say that it is the best thing that I have done, that Chris and I have done. It is challenging, but it's so rewarding, and it's truly like a type of love that you can only experience from having a baby yourself. If you enjoyed this video, please let me know. And again, if you are a parent, I would love to hear if there's anything you wish you knew before becoming a parent, or if you have any other tips and tricks for me, because like I said, I'm still learning. I'm still new at this whole parent thing, so let me know if you have any other tips for me down in the comments. But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I will catch up with you next time.